So I want to ask you first about this game tonight between the Warriors and the Celtics, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have said you think this might be the one Golden State's going to lose, yeah?
Yeah, but I thought they were going to lose to Toronto, too. I just, you think the odds of a team continuing on with this streak, that it's likely going to come to an end, and I think Boston's got a outstanding defensive team, and two guys hurt, Klay Thompson, now with Harrison Barnes. I don't know if Thompson's going to play or not, but certainly would be diminished. You would think that, Boston would have a great chance. But at the same time, I'm backpedaling on my prediction. I'd still take the Warriors if you put a gun to my head.
I got you. So, you know what I want to ask you, Jeff? The small ball lineup, and I know it's sort of on hold for the moment with Barnes being out. But that lineup where they play Draymond Green at the 5 and Barnes at the 4 and then Iguodala, Thompson, and Curry, it's obliterated opponents this year. They've sort of used it as their closing lineup. If you're the Spurs, let's say, or any team, is there a team that has a 5 that can hang with that group? Do you size down to them? Do you just go big and try and pound them on the glass? What do you do to try and stop that 5, which just seemed unstoppable?
Well, it really is difficult because Draymond Green has incredible versatility defensively, being able to guard bigs and hold his own. And then if they're in a switching situation, particularly against the pick and roll, he can contain most perimeter guys. So it makes it very difficult to score on them. And then offensively, when they run Curry and Green in pick and rolls, particularly at the end of the games, people are committing 2 guys to Curry. So it's 4-on-3 when Curry gets the ball out to Green, and Green is a great decision maker. And I think what's being overlooked right now is the tremendous regular season Iguodala is having compared to last year, where he did not have a good regular season. He's been shooting it, and so if Harrison Barnes shoots the 3 well, and Iguodala shoots it well, which he has this year, and then Green can get on a run from 3, boy, you really have the floor spread for Curry and Thompson. So really difficult team to match up with. And, of course, I think teams trying to downsize to them have no shot because you don't have their guys. So if you can stay big like San Antonio and post it and rebound it and not get obliterated in transition, that's probably your best shot.
Now, before we let you go, Jeff, I don't know how much of the Knicks that you've seen of late. If you have seen them much, what's wrong with them? What's going on? They seem so sluggish, and they seem lost.
You know what, Michael? I think what happened is they started better than people expected.
Right.
So that raises expectations. So then when they drop to probably through periods of adversity that they should experience, people are, asking the question, what's wrong, versus this is just the path that most likely we're going to take. As a lot of teams in their, at their talent level go up and down. People often say, like, if only a team or a player could be more consistent. Yeah, if only they could be more consistent, they would be a star player.
Right.
And that's what great teams are made of, is consistent greatness. And so there's teams just can't do that. And most teams can't do that. They can't sustain because they're not good enough to do that. And so I think the Knicks are just going through a natural period that we'll see most of the teams that Ryan was referencing earlier, who were probably just below Miami. Who's ever south of Miami, you're going to have some ups and downs, and there's going to be some teams that win 34 games in that group, and there's going to be some teams that win 44. And it's a much better conference, but that doesn't eliminate the natural ups and downs. But I tell you what, the Knicks have true hope now. They don't have to fake it. Porzingis is a guy who has talent. He has the right mindset, it seems like, and he seems like he's absolutely built for New York. And I think this guy is going to be an absolute star. And the next 12 to 15 years in New York, it's going to be real fun to watch him play and grow into a dominant player.
Now, far be it from me, Jeff, to try to stir things up, but Ryan is filling in for Don today.
Okay.
And we haven't seen him in a while, so he walks into the studio, strutting.
What is this going to be?
And says, by the way, Van Gundy's coming on at 5:30. He loves working with me. He likes working with me way more than Breen. Is there any truth to what he's saying?
Well, first of all, that's that you guys allow attempts at sabotaging other ESPN employees right on in your offices. It's crazy, but I think Mike senses there's a little Fordham jealousy.
Yeah, sure.
And I think he senses it. I think there's a rift growing, but I do love working with Ryan. But you're never going to pit one against the other for me. But obviously Ryan's made it personal with Mike, and hey, who am I to try to get in the way of that?
And I also heard that you've enjoyed some of Ryan's vocal exercises in the car. Those are always fun.
Now that part is true.
I was sort of shocked. I didn't really know. He was talking to me about. I think Ryan. I don't want to misspeak.
No, go for it.
Vocal therapy,
a vocal massage,
laryngeal massage. Sure.
Yep.
Wow. Only single guys can get away with saying they go for the vocal massage. That's all I know. You can't, Michael K. You know that you can't get away with that going home saying I'm spending an hour and a half getting my larynx massage. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, my larynx rubbed. Yeah, I don't know if Jody would go for it.
No, I don't think she would. She probably wouldn't.
Well, thank you for popping on, Jeff. I'm sorry you have to be in the middle of this Fordham feud, but it happens.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys.
Nature of the
Have a great
business.
weekend.
Thanks. That's Jeff Van Gundy. Merry Christmas.